Hello and welcome to another update video about Injective protocol. So just covering a few requests here because a lot of people asked for INJ to be covered because of the, I guess, the price increase that we see at the moment. Yeah, and to be honest, it's making a good impression at least. You know, it's starting to show some strength here. And nothing was visible down here, even though these are always the area, basically a bottoming process here down here. That was back in November, right? But we have a wave one to the upside. We had an A wave down, which bottomed here in July 21, a B wave up, and then a C wave down. Now, the thing is that I have to consider here a so-called truncation. What is a truncation? A truncation is that in this C wave, that the fifth wave basically did not make a clean lower low, right? I actually probably have to move the wave 4 here. Oh, it doesn't really, no, here. That the fifth wave didn't make a clean lower low. It came very close to the previous low, to the wave 3 low here from July at around $1.10, but it didn't make a lower low. So it is a so-called truncation, only valid in exceptional circumstances. But I think we've got that situation here now because I cannot, unless this is a very weird diagonal, I cannot count that as wave one to the upside. It's deeply corrective. Yeah, I'm considering it. I mean, you could count it as a wave one, but it would be an ABC. That would force me to count this as an ABC as well. That makes the whole chart a bit unreliable with that truncation. I've now decided to count this as a fifth wave truncation. Doesn't make a great difference now. We just need to see how we go. But for now, we can focus here on higher. I'm going to tell you in this video what the relevant support levels are against which we can focus on higher. I think it's a coin that I covered in a live stream before. That's where I had these counts already from. So looking at this now, we are looking at a possible 5-wave move to the upside that occurred between the end of December to middle of February. Then a wave 2 to the downside, a correction. Yeah, this must be a 1-2. At least based on this bullish interpretation, because I'm looking at it and it reacted perfectly to the golden ratio, the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement. Off that low, we rallied again in another 1-2 setup. Also here, this smaller degree, wave 2 reacted to the support area, standard support for a wave 2, in this case, the 50% retracement. It's typically here the area between the 50% and the 61.8 retracement, and the 78.6 retracement, that you expect a reaction in a wave 2. It did react. So we then took off, absolutely. And typically what you have in Elliott wave, you've got 3 levels of, I can't cover like all charts out there, but that's why I always do a bit of education as well. And we cover a lot of education in the channel membership. So just for the future, when you have a 1-2 setup and then maybe another 1-2 setup afterwards, they are among the best setups that you get in Elliott wave. And then you get the confirmation that a third wave rally is happening. Bear in mind, confirmation doesn't mean certainty, but you get a confirmation that a third wave rally is happening if a break above wave 1 is happening, and that happened. And then you typically look for at least the 1.618 extension as a target. And you need to make sure that you look for 5 subwaves. So here, I'm pretty sure we reached the 1.618 extension, probably even the 2.618 nearly. So that all fulfills currently wave 3 requirements, but we haven't got 5 waves as it seems. It's a bit unclear, the lower degree price action here, and to try to chart really in detail a third wave of a third wave rally is always a bit challenging. But if we go to the 4-hour chart, we see a little bit more. And based on price action here, this pump looks really as if the third wave is still ongoing. You can use indicators, because an indicator, typically like the RSI, tells you that the third wave of a third wave rally close to the peak would be the highest reading. So we are probably close to the high here of that third wave. Could even push a bit higher. There's no strong bottoming signal. And trouble with those charts sometimes is you can't really decipher really every small little subwave, and sometimes it's not useful either. But if we try to, what I'll be looking at here down there, is a possible, let's just do that. Let's just try to figure out where we are really in the subwave structure here, the third wave of a third wave rally. Now that's really diving into the micro counts here, right? So it's often a little bit, bit difficult. But what I would argue what we've got here is probably a wave 1 as a leading diagonal, then an A overshooting B wave, C wave in a wave 2. And then within that, we are basically in the third wave. But within the third wave of a third, we've got another 1, 2. 3, 4, maybe a fifth wave extension, something like that, right? So just that would be my sort of best assessment at the moment. As good, you know, because sometimes you get all sorts of distortions, especially on the lower time frames. But I would suggest, yeah, that probably here this third wave isn't finished yet, and next targets for this third wave, next targets would be here the 2.382 extension at 976. Bear in mind the $10 level will be critical resistance, and the 2.618 extension at 1037. So those are critical ones. And then what is much more useful than trying to really get to the bottom of what is the perfect wave we're in, because sometimes they change so quickly. What is more important is to understand what is the level that we now need to hold for further upside continuation, because that can be, you know, based on that you can trade basically. Now, in theory, you shouldn't get any more deeper retracements here until we've got that yellow third wave done and the yellow fifth wave, right? And that would then complete another larger degree wave 1. But what is the relevant support, right? So against which can be traded, because in any pullback now, we should not drop below, measured on the latest high, price should not drop below 635 anymore. Well, that doesn't mean it couldn't do it. Of course it can. It's just that if it does, it will most likely invalidate the structure and we'll get a much deeper pullback. Trouble would be that we only have 3 waves up, so it could just simply be an ABC structure. So whatever Injective protocol does now, it needs to hold the 635 level. And in any wave 4 pullback now, it should get into this region. Now, of course, if we push higher now in this fifth wave, I would have to adjust the fibs. But what I can see now is between 635 and 776 that a fourth wave should get into and turn around there. Ideally somewhere in that region. If it goes below that level, it would cause some trouble. It would cost the chart some credibility. And then we should rally in one more high and a third wave. Then there should be a fourth and a fifth. So that's sort of the situation we're in at the moment. Zooming out a bit, $10 is of course critical resistance. Yeah. So basically below 635, this pattern will fail, or at least risks failing. That would be, you know, the warning lamp that will go on. But there will be, again, $10 is also structural resistance here, that previous wave too high. Getting above that would most likely spark a rally to $15 in my opinion. Yeah, just look at the previous resistances structures, and based on fib extensions that should work out as well. Just want to add the VRVP here to the chart historical volume, if that gives us any. Yeah, I mean, you can see that above $10, or $10 is actually, it's got structural resistance, but you've got that sort of insufficiency here of historical volume. But that's interesting that it actually, there is quite a bit there actually. So if I zoom out a bit, in terms of historical volume, you've got a lot there in this region. So it might be a bit difficult to get through. But if you look at the tops, I mean, they're all sort of collected around the $15 level. So that indicates that a lot of the rallies got stuck there. So that indicates resistance. And then you've got all this support, previous support around the $10 level. Now, there was a lot of trading in between. Yeah, that's why the volume is high there. But it indicates, you know, that if you look at these previous tops, that $15 is significant resistance and significant support is $10, which will, on the other hand, also be resistance again. So when you get above 10, that would unlock prices all the way up to 15. And those are the important levels. And in that rally that we have on the chart here, I think $15 would not be unreasonable to expect. But the condition is that 635 it definitely needs to hold really to continue with this particular wave structure we've got on the chart. If it breaks below that, it would raise probabilities that this was just an ABC structure and we will make another low. All right, that's my update about INJ. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.